Now pay attention to this. One man knew the dark truth, that kings admired him, the rich feared him, and society called him insane. A man who slept in the streets, owned almost nothing, mocked the powerful to their faces, and yet possessed something modern people desperately crave today: true freedom. His name was Diogenes. Diogenes the Cynic, also known as Diogenes of Cynic, was an ancient Greek philosopher, and thousands of years later, his teachings are more dangerous than ever. Because Diogenes exposed something society still hides. Most people are not living freely. They are performing. Performing for approval. Performing for status. Performing for strangers. Performing for a society that profits from insecurity. And tonight, we are going to uncover the brutal philosophy of the man who rejected all illusions, a man who challenged comfort, destroyed ego, and humiliated fake wisdom. But be warned, this philosophy is not comfortable. It will challenge your identity, your habits, your desires, and maybe even your entire way of living. Because Diogenes didn't just question society, he questioned human weakness itself. If you are ready to hear truths most people avoid, comment, free my mind, because this video will completely change the way you see the modern world. Diogenes destroyed the illusion of status. Diogenes lived in ancient Greece. But honestly, he would probably hate modern society even more. Because modern civilization perfected what he despised most: fake importance. Today, people measure themselves through money, followers, luxury, validation, titles, attention. And Diogenes believed all of it was slavery. He once saw a wealthy man showing off his luxurious home. Instead of being impressed, Diogenes spit in his face. Why? Because he believed people obsessed with status were spiritually weak. Think about that. Most people spend their entire lives trying to look successful instead of becoming wise. They buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even respect. And the terrifying part? Society rewards it. You are taught from childhood to chase external approval. Better clothes, better image, more money, more recognition. But Diogenes asked one devastating question. If your happiness depends on things outside yourself, are you truly free? That question alone can destroy modern culture, because millions of people today are emotionally controlled by things they cannot even control. Likes, opinions, validation, attention, comparison. And the more dependent you become on those things, the weaker your mind becomes. Diogenes rejected all of it. Not because he hated life, but because he refused to become psychologically enslaved. And maybe that's why people hated him, because free people expose enslaved minds. Comment below, what controls most people today? Money? Validation? Social media? Fear? I want to hear your thoughts. Now, let's go further. Diogenes exposed human hypocrisy. Diogenes was feared for one reason. He exposed people, not gently, brutally. One day he walked through Athens carrying a lantern in broad daylight. People laughed and asked, "What are you doing?" Diogenes replied, "I am looking for an honest man." Imagine how savage that statement was. Thousands of people surrounding him. And he believed honesty was nowhere to be found. Now think about today. People fake confidence online, fake happiness, fake morality, fake success, fake lifestyles, fake personalities. Modern society rewards appearances more than authenticity. And Diogenes would have absolutely destroyed this culture because he believed most humans are trapped inside performance. They are terrified of being judged, terrified of standing out, terrified of speaking truth, terrified of being real. So they become actors, and eventually, they forget who they actually are. That is one of the deepest dangers of modern society. You can lose yourself trying to become acceptable to everyone else. Diogenes refused to participate in that illusion. He lived openly, raw, unfiltered, unapologetic. And while society mocked him, he remained mentally free. Because freedom begins the moment you stop needing approval. That's difficult for modern people to understand. Today, people will sacrifice authenticity just to fit in. But Diogenes sacrificed comfort to remain authentic. Now tell me, which one sounds stronger to you? Comfort is making people weak. This might be the most important lesson Diogenes ever taught. Comfort weakens people. Modern society worships comfort. Instant entertainment, instant food, instant pleasure, instant validation, instant escape. People panic at boredom now. They panic at silence. They panic at discomfort. But Diogenes trained himself through hardship intentionally. He slept outside, owned almost nothing, practiced discomfort daily. Why? Because he understood something terrifying. If comfort controls your happiness, then suffering will destroy you. And look around today. People mentally collapse over the smallest inconveniences. Why? Because modern humans became psychologically fragile. They lost resilience. They lost endurance. They lost discipline. Diogenes believed hardship creates freedom, because the less you need, the less the world can control you. That philosophy is revolutionary today. Imagine needing less validation, less approval, less entertainment, less luxury, less distraction. Suddenly, society loses power over you. And that is exactly why simplicity is powerful. The modern world trains dependency. Diogenes trained independence. Ask yourself honestly, could you sit alone without distractions for one entire day? Most people can't, because they are addicted to stimulation. And addiction is never freedom. Diogenes humiliated Alexander the Great. One of the greatest stories in philosophy history happened between Diogenes and Alexander the Great. Alexander conquered nations. He possessed wealth, armies, power, influence. And yet, he admired Diogenes. Why? Because Diogenes possessed something Alexander couldn't conquer: inner freedom. Legend says Alexander approached him and asked, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Imagine that moment. The most powerful man in the world offering you anything. Most people would beg for money, status, comfort, opportunity. But Diogenes simply replied, "Yes, stand out of my sunlight." That response shocked history, because Diogenes revealed something powerful. a man who needs nothing, cannot be controlled. Think deeply about that. Modern society controls people through desire. Desire for money, attention, pleasure, fear of missing out, fear of rejection, fear of failure. But the less dependent you become, the freer you are. That is why disciplined people are dangerous, because they become harder to manipulate. And Diogenes mastered that freedom completely. Alexander himself supposedly said, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." That sentence is incredible. The man who ruled the world envied the man who owned almost nothing. Why? Because external power means nothing without inner peace. The brutal truth about modern society. If Diogenes lived today, he would probably terrify people. Because modern society depends on insecurity. Think about it. Entire industries profit from making people feel inadequate. You're told you need more, look better, own more, consume more, prove yourself constantly. And because of that, people never feel enough. Diogenes would call this psychological slavery, because a person constantly chasing external validation will never experience peace. That's why modern people are exhausted, not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Always chasing, always comparing, always consuming, always distracted. But Diogenes chose another path. Radical simplicity, radical honesty, radical freedom. And that freedom terrified society because it exposed society's emptiness. The truth is, many modern systems survive because people stay insecure. An insecure population consumes more, obeys more, questions less. And Diogenes questioned everything. That's why his philosophy remains dangerous today, because it forces people to confront uncomfortable truths. What if your desires were programmed? What if your insecurity was profitable? What if society benefits from your weakness? Those questions alone can wake someone up permanently. Diogenes teaches self-mastery. At the core of Diogenes' philosophy was mastery over the self, not over others, not over society, over himself. That's real power. Modern people think power means influence, followers, money, attention. But Diogenes believed true power meant becoming independent from external control. Imagine reaching a point where insults don't break you, rejection doesn't destroy you, luxury doesn't tempt you, loneliness doesn't scare you. That level of emotional independence is rare and powerful, because the strongest people are not the loudest. They are the least controlled. This is where Diogenes connects deeply with Stoicism. Both philosophies teach mastery over desire, mastery over fear, mastery over emotion. Because once you master yourself, the world loses its grip on you. And maybe that's what many people watching this video truly want. Not money, not fame, peace, freedom, clarity, strength, a mind that cannot be easily shaken. And that journey begins the moment you stop seeking your worth from the outside world. Dare to live differently. Diogenes was mocked, rejected, called insane. But history remembered him because he refused to live a lie. Most people betray themselves slowly to fit in, to be accepted, to avoid judgment. But Diogenes chose freedom over approval, and that decision made him immortal. So tonight, ask yourself honestly, are you living authentically or performing for society? Because the answer to that question changes everything. The world will always pressure you to conform, to consume endlessly, to chase validation, to fear discomfort. But freedom begins when you stop obeying those invisible chains. And maybe that is the true meaning behind Diogenes' philosophy. Not rejecting society entirely, but refusing to let society own your mind. If this video challenged your perspective, comment, I choose freedom. I want to know who's truly awake. And if you're ready to master your mind, reject weakness, and transform your life through ancient wisdom. Subscribe to Stoic Gateway right now. Turn on notifications and join a community focused on discipline, emotional mastery, and inner freedom. For your free PDF plus daily Stoic guide. For 7 days transformation, text, I am locked in, to the Stoic Path 33@gmail.com. Remember this, the person who needs the least is often the freest of all. Welcome to Stoic Gateway.